Once again, just a quick reminder that clips of the important tricks with my input display working are at the end of the video. Thanks. All right. Starting right off from last video, we are now at part 7 of the All Skills tutorial. This time we are going to go over getting to King Station, making sure we have enough money for it, and then heading into Crystal Peaks to grab our Crystal Heart ability. So last time we discussed how to optimally get through Soul Sanctum and kill Soul Master. After that, you're going to pick up Dive and it will fill up your soul. I'm going to reset the room because Soul Master just died. So in this upcoming room, we're going to use yet another lever skip to escape more quickly. On your way out, you're going to collect a little bit of Geo, just kind of accidentally. Dive through this first floor. If you grab any of this Geo, great. Then dash and do another dive. As soon as this dive hits the ground, you want to start holding Nail. And that's because there's a door that we're going to lever skip through. Additionally, this dive kills these enemies at the bottom, and make sure to pick up as much of the Geo as you can. As soon as your Nail Art is charged, you can lever skip. This enemy almost always spawns, so as the door is opening, if you're comfortable with it, you can dash over and collect some soul. And then there's a gate storage that you can do to get up to this wall a little bit faster, as I just showed there. If you're not comfortable with that, I'd say just wait it out normally, and then wall jump off this little platform up to here. From here, it's just wall jumping like that. This room, you're just spamming dashes through, and you can either do a short dash and then pogo off of here, or you can just nail hit dash and then dash into the load transition. This next room has 2 ways of doing the beginning. As soon as you enter, there's this enemy here consistently, and it's possible to jump up to this piece of wall here. However, it's very finicky. So if you mess this up, you'll fall onto this enemy unless you react quickly enough. And if you're at 1 health, that's a disaster because you die. So if this wall jump proves finicky, just dash over to this wall and climb up that way. After that, hit both of those soul vials on your way out, just for extra soul, and then exit through here. As you hit the ground, you're going to want to charge your Nail Art. This is just a little time save, and it's so that we can hit this elevator lever as soon as possible. If you do use dash slash to hit that lever, you want to get over as quickly as possible, because as you can see, I barely cleared the elevator. If you find yourself getting hit here a lot, don't do the dash slash, just run over and hit it normally. Just make sure you fall down as the elevator is going up, and then dash into this little alcove. After that, fall down, call that elevator up if you sent it down earlier, or write it down if you didn't, and then exit out of Soul Sanctum. Okay, this enemy doesn't usually spawn, it's just because of save states. So I'm gonna give myself that soul back. So as you enter this room, you can either dash like this, or for a little time save, you can do this. I have to reset the room because it uses a destructible object. But as you enter, you can pogo off of that destructible object to go through the room a little bit faster. From here, you're going to do a similar elevator strat where you do 2 dashes, call the elevator, and then fall down. After that, you are going to exit as normal. This room is all dashing as we make our way to our first location of potential Geo collection. So after all is said and done, you should have roughly, I'd say at least 240 Geo is ideal. And there's two main locations you can collect the geo. The first one is this upper row of husks. What we're going to do is if we're in that 240 range, basically anything less than 270, you're going to want to shoot a fireball and collect as much of the geo as possible. So that'll look like this. Dash out once, this is important, and then shoot a fireball. Also, beware of this Great Husk Sentry if you're at 2 health. It has killed me many times. But dashing out once at the beginning is important because it lets your fireball reach further. And then grab as much of this geo as possible. And then make your way through. As you land, you're going to be in this dark room again. In order to get out, if you're facing left, it's just dash, dash as soon as you can again, and then you should be able to dash a third time to cross the gap. I'll try to show this with hitboxes on, just so you can visualize what this looks like. So we're going to exit again. So again, that's dash, 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 and you'll find yourself here. Now, we actually need to bench because we're going to come back here later. So make your way here to this bench. Turn off hitboxes again. All right. So as you make your way out, if you need it or if you'd like, you can hit this guy through the floor. Oops. Okay, there we go. To get some extra soul. As you get to here, you're going to inventory drop all the way to the bottom. These enemies, I went through this room a little slow because they have kind of random positions, but this husk will almost always be on your right, and it can be very close. So as soon as you hit the ground, you're going to want to dash to the left to get out of the way. However, the problem with this husk can also be about here. So you're going to hit the ground, dash, and immediately jump. And this is just in case that husk is here or that husk is there. So you're going to hit the ground and then dash and jump just to avoid getting hit by these husks. Generally, your health is pretty precious in this segment. So I'm just going to go through it normally. Up until here. At this point, you have to make sure you have enough soul for one dive. And the reason for this is you'll probably still have like 270 to 290 geo abouts. And we're going to get the rest of this geo from diving through this glass floor and killing the husks down there. The visual cue for when to dive is the right edge of this window. So that'll land you down here and kill hopefully all 3, sometimes just the top 2, sometimes these left 2. But at this point you want to simply collect the rest of the geo you need to get the 300 for King Station. If you still don't have enough for some reason, you can kill this husk. From there, continue and make your way through. This area is just dashing and jump dashing over any enemies you encounter. If you can collect any soul, it's pretty nice, but not necessary. For this next room, there's one minor optimization strat that's pretty hard. I'll go over it once, but it's not a big deal. So the slightly harder strat is to just get this tough jump. And that's a very tight little wall jump there. My visual cue for when to dash is when I'm in the center of this background object. So, like that. If this jump is too tough, and if you're beginning, I wouldn't even recommend going for it. It's not worth the time save. Just dash along the bottom here. Then you can climb up however you see fit. There's a tough little wall jump you can do here, but if you're not comfortable with that, I'd say just do something like that. And then make your way to King Station. It's important that you don't bench here because of that bench we grabbed earlier that we're going to save quit to later. And then here, we're just going to purchase King Station. We didn't open the Crossroads stag earlier. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do something, so. Okay. So, this is the first instance of the look down. It's different whether you're on controller versus keyboard, but I'll just like briefly explain it. For any toll that pops up a bell afterwards or lowers a gate, after you purchase it, if you look down, it'll make the bell or gate go down significantly faster. If you look at my input display, you'll be able to see the timing for it here. It's basically just a feel thing. You'll have to work it out on your own. If you post about it in the Discord, people can generally tell you if you were too early, too late, etc. So that'll look like this. You'll know you got it because the gate goes down earlier and the bell pops up a lot earlier. Once it does, you're going to call the stag and head over to Crossroads. Or not Crossroads, sorry. Dirtmouth, because we didn't get Crossroads. All right. So here you're going to do 2 dashes. There's another tough little, like, barely clipping edge wall jump like this. As you can see, it's pretty weird. So if that's tough, then I'd say just jump on the elevator and head up. And then from here, we are going to dash and head down to the well. As soon as you enter the well, you're going to start charging your nail art, actually. So once you enter the transition, hold down nail. This is very important because if you hold it any later, it's probably too late. And what we're going to do is, as we're falling, we're going to release it, which actually gives us back control of our character. And it means we can start dashing immediately instead of getting the hard fall. That'll look like this. Just like that. Most of this section is just dashing through until we get to Crystal Peaks. This room, if you don't have enough soul for the dive coming up, I recommend hitting these husks to get enough soul. When you're entering peaks, you generally want at least 6 hits, I'd say. This guy can sometimes be in the way under the platform, so just jump over if this happens. And then here, just some more dashing and heading down. Here, you can basically just dash through the room, and then you're going to want to climb up the wall because it's faster than the elevator. As soon as you enter this room, you can dash over. Once you hit the dive, you want to position yourself like a tiny bit to the left of here and open your inventory. This is just so you can go around as soon as possible, like so. You generally want to dash there. From here, you're going to enter peaks. This is a like crystal enemy, so when you pogo it, there's a bit of hit lag, which can sometimes cause you to get hit. If that tends to be a problem on your computer, you can just wait for this to get out of your way. But for the most part, as you're entering, you're going to pogo off of it and continue along. Sometimes it spawns on the right side, and then it's not a problem. I'm going to do this real quick. Oops, do I still have... Oops. Okay. From there, you are going to just dash your way through the rest of this room until here. There's a minor optimization here where you can pogo off of this lamp that's in the background. So that'll look like this. If you miss it, or if that's finicky, you can just dash over here. Alright, so this next room has a kind of RNG trick. It's relatively consistent on this patch, but it can become a lot harder depending on the RNG, called Pogax. I'm gonna go over it once. It's definitely like pretty hard, and beginners should not go for it. But it looks like this. you go over to the right side, neutral jump, dash over, and pogo off the axe to get up here. If the miner walks to the right, this becomes a lot more difficult. So it basically depends on if you're good enough and at a point where you want to start going for it. It's about like a 3-second time save compared to going around, so it's really not that worth it if you're just starting out. All right, now the beginner or just the safe strat. This is commonly used even by the top runners if they don't want to deal with the RNG. And that just involves when you first spawn in, this Glimback can either be going left or be going right. Whichever side it spawns on, just make sure you go around to the other side. After that, you're going to want to get past these miners and then fireball this Glimback to get past it as soon as possible. After that, both strats do the same thing here. They just climb up and then wall jump up the the conveyor belts rather. This next room is very cycle based because of the crystal crawlers that shoot the lasers out of their back. The most important thing here is to choose a consistent movement strat through the room that works for you every time. If you do it optimally, there's something you can get called God Pixel, but it's like a very tight trick, so I'm just gonna like mention it. Otherwise, I'm gonna show how I go through the room, and then you can feel what's comfortable for you. Alright. I unfortunately had my wall jump eaten, so I'm just gonna reset the room. But yeah. Everything is just on a cycle as soon as you enter the room. And I actually got God Pixel, which is if you jump... Here, I'm going to show it with the next laser that shows up. If you shoot right in the middle of the circle from the laser, there's a small section where you can pass through without getting hit. You're only really able to get that cycle if you go through the room as fast as possible. But as long as you're consistent in this room, you can play it however safe or however fast you'd like. Alright. There's a slightly faster strat for this upcoming room, which involves pogoing off of this lamp and taking a damage boost. I typically think it's not really worth it, especially since health is kind of important, but I'll show it briefly. It looks like this. And that'll let you get past these lasers without having to worry about the cycle. The safer strat that doesn't involve a damage tank looks like this. You go up the left side and pogo off of that lamp. If you're fast enough, that still allows you to get past the lasers. Just like that. These next rooms are relatively chill. You can, as you dash over here, you can do a wall jump like that, or just climb up here. This next room, I'm going to talk about a relatively new glitch called dash/slash storage. It's fractions of a second of time save, but I'll mention it for the people who are trying to be as optimal as possible. And basically, no matter how you're going through this room, you're going to inventory drop down this shaft, and then head down here. Now there's an inventory drop here where you're going to go all the way to the bottom. If you want to optimize it, you can start charging a dash/slash as you come down, and then you cancel your nail art with your inventory, so right before it comes out. If you do that properly, the next dash you do will automatically do it for you. And this is important because usually you can't charge it during an inventory drop. And that'll just let you hit this lever from slightly further away. If you don't want to go for that, it can be a little inconsistent sometimes. You're just going to inventory drop, and then immediately dash over, hit this lever, and then go to this room. All right, so up next is the Crystal Heart room. Once again, pretty cycle-based, and there's a minor time save trick at the beginning. As you enter, you want to charge your nail art, and the reason for that is so you can do this little air stall to get from this platform to this platform. The way it works is you want to charge your nail art before you get here, dash slash off the platform, and then dash again. The nail art stalls your air momentum so that you can get your other dash out in time. That's basically how you do the start of the room. So I will show that again. And then for this next portion, as soon as you get on these elevators, you're going to start the laser cycles for the rest of the room. There's two different strats for this. There's the damage tank strat and the damage list strat. For all beginners, and if you're low health, it's important to know this too, go for damage list, because the next split, D-Dart, can get pretty iffy with your health. So I will show that first. It all depends on, like, the thing that matters is how you go about these conveyor belts at the beginning. So for damage list, what we want to do, and you need to imitate this almost exactly in order to get the damage list cycle, because doing any sort of like extra delays or going a little bit faster will mess with the cycles. So what we're going to do here is, as soon as we get up, we're going to do 2 wall jumps, and then just wait on the conveyor belts and dash when the spikes are in our way. If we do that properly, we should be able to go through the rest of the lasers at a decent speed and not get hit. So 1, 2, dash, dash. And everything here on out, you should be able to dash as much as possible. This laser you need to delay a little bit, and then you should be able to get to the end. So here I did, hold on, I'm just gonna reset the whole room. At the end there's a little trick called underplat, which is completely optional, but I did it there and I'll mention it again when we come to it again. So once again, the damage list strat, I'll do the whole room. You have the air stall for this platform, and then 1, 2, dash, dash. And then, so long as you're dashing whenever you can, you're basically going through this room optimally. Once again, there's underplat. If you want to, you can just jump from that last platform and dash over to this one, and then continue dashing your way through. Underplat saves like maybe half a second, so definitely don't go for it as a beginner, but it is a harder strat that you can go for if you'd like. It's not too like tough. So that's damage list. I'm now going to go over the damage tank strat. So for the damage tank strat, you're basically just going to want to go through as fast as possible, so wall jumping whenever you can. And then there's going to be one laser, I believe it's the third one, that you're going to want to damage tank on. If you do that, you can once again basically dash through everything and not stop for any lasers, except the one you always have to stop for close to the end. This saves just a little bit of time over the damage list strat. So this looks like this. Damage tank off that laser, and then you can just go through as normal. Delay here, and then that's the safe strat, is what that looks like. So I will do the damage cycle one more time, and then that will be the end of this video. Air stall, and then just wall jump up as fast as you can. Damage tank off that one. Sometimes you have to delay for that laser specifically, but all that means is that you are especially fast in in getting there. So that's how that looks. Then once you're here, you'll simply dash, make your way down until you reach the crystal heart pickup. And that's where we're going to end this video. Next video, we are going to go over the D-Dark split, most likely. Potentially Dreamnail as well, depending on how long the video looks.